orders you to do evil, immorality, and watch this interpretation, and to say about Allah what you do not know. So people say a lot of things, people give a lot of fatwa when someone asks about something without any reference, without any knowledge. People say, okay, you can do that, okay, you can do that, since you are in this part of the world, you can get this, you can't do that. So people, that's what Allah says, this is one of the trap of Shaitan, where you don't have the knowledge about Allah, but he will make you to tell about Allah even though you don't have any knowledge about Allah. Further Allah, this is a beautiful verse. So further Allah in Surah Al-Zukhruf, Surah number 43, verse number 37, he says, indeed, they avert them from the way of guidance, meaning the Shaitan misguides them from the way of guidance while they think they are guided. That is our real life situation. We think we do so many things in our life thinking that, okay, this is a part of Islam, which is actually not. We think when we do these things, like suppose we wear taweez, we thinking that this is what it has is a naqsh or the writings of some Quranic verses. You make an amulet, you tie against yourself, and you think you are following Islam, but you are not. So many things, you know, when we come from the Asia, there are lots of bidah, lots of innovation. People think that this is a part of Islam. And when a girl gets, reaches puberty, right, you have to do this, that, like seven people has to come, make her to sit back. This thing, you have to do this thing on the 4th day, this thing on the 10th day. They think this is a part of Islam, which is not. That's why Allah Rabbul Izzah says, this is the trick of Shaitan. Allah clearly says, this is not a made-up kind of an interpretation and explanation. This is a word-by-word translation. Allah says, they think they are rightly guided. Shaitan averts them from the truth and do not allow them to wake up to find out the truth. Rather deceives them and mocks them that they think they are on the right path until the painful kind of fate hit them. So we think that we are on the right path, but actually not. So there is a saying, it is easy to keep a person awake from the sleep, right? But it is really challenging to awake a person who is acting as in sleep. That's the real life situation. Shaitan creates a situation where we think we are on the right track, but not. That is the second trap of Shaitan. So the first trap of Shaitan is to create a kufr. Next is to create an innovation and thinking that we are on the right track. So we got to keep away from that kind of a trap from Shaitan. And the third trap which Shaitan uses is to make us to follow our own desires. Shaitan attacks based on our own weakness. If someone is interested in gambling, he will create a situation that he will make him win a lottery, and then he will push him into that trap. If someone is interested in some music and dance, he will create an environment in his office, workplace, school that people will appreciate him, and he will get sucked into it. Shaitan works on our weak more than us. He knows our strength and the weakness. So Shaitan gradually picks up our weakness and makes us to follow our desires. Allah Rabbul Izzah says about that in Surah Al-Nisa, Surah number 4, verse number 120. يَعِيدُهُمْ وَيُمَنِّهِمْ وَمَا يَعِيدُهُمُ الشَّيْطَانُ إِلَّا غُرُورٌ. He promises them and arouses desires in them, but Shaitan doesn't promise except delusion. Allah, as we saw in just the start of the khutbah, Shaitan does not have any power of his own. Allah has given him the power, and one of the power Allah has given the Shaitan is to promise many things and get into temptation. And Shaitan promises so many impossible things, like the people get into the gambling thinking that one day I'm going to win so many millions of dollars. They get sucked into it. And some people think, okay, I'm going to go into this one, I'm going to be a big star, music star, and they get sucked into it. So the whole life gets ruined, forget about the Islamic life. So one way we get into the trap of Shaitan is to think about the unachievable things which are the wrong thing, and ultimately we end with the falsehood without knowing that we are in the wrong way. And the next trap of Shaitan is the fear of poverty. The fear of poverty is one of the strongest tools. That's what the scholars say. Shaitan doesn't have a more stronger weapon against the mankind like the fear of poverty. Like, just imagine, we all run towards money just because we fear what if we don't earn, right? What if suddenly our job loses, right? What if suppose our business crashes? What if not? What if not? So he has created in our minds the question of if. We chase the money, and sometimes even if we have the money, we think, okay, this money we have to use for this. Even if we have a mind of giving charity or food to someone, we think, okay, are we going overboard? All we have done is like maybe around like $100, but Allah would have given you $10,000 on us, right? But still he says, so this is the strongest feeling, strongest fear or trap. the shaitan setting is the fear of poverty. So Allah Rabbul Izzat talks about this fear of poverty in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 268. Shaitan threatens you with the power of poverty and orders you to be immoral, while Allah promises you forgiveness and provides His bounty. So where we should go? Do you need to get doubts again, with shaitan, or we need to go to Allah? We need to go to Allah because Allah promises forgiveness and also He promises His bounty. And the fifth trap of shaitan is the anger. We all know how bad we become when we are angry, right? We just rewind ourselves, like how many situations we expressed our anger towards our family, towards our kids, towards our boss, towards our employers, whatever, whatnot, towards our customers, right? And then we think back, okay, maybe we have done wrong, right? There is a physical kind of a phenomenon happening. When you have anger, right, the whole of the adrenaline rushes into your blood, right? You don't have any chance to make a wise, informed decision. You can't do that, right? So it's not your fault. So the adrenaline makes you pumps in and makes you not to decide on the right way. And when you have the anger, your equilibrium is disturbed. You are not the person who you are. And it is reported that some of the prophets asked the shaitan, Iblis, right? They asked the shaitan, "Oh shaitan, how do you defeat the son of Adam? Come on, tell us." The prophets asked the Iblis. And Iblis coolly replies, he said, "I attack them, I defeat them at the time of anger and at the time of desire." He says, hey, at the time of anger, we don't think about Allah, we don't think about anyone, right? Our ego just skyrockets and we want to prove a point there. And also at the same time, when you are on the high, we want to do things which we don't want to do. Okay, let us do this, let us do that. So both of the situation is chemically driven, I would say. One we saw is adrenaline driven, another is the serotonin driven. Like when you have the more joy, the body secretes serotonin. That's called the feel good hormone or the chemical. So if the people who are taking antidepressant, it has